We are going to work on refurbishing this garden bed today, which you can't even tell looks like a garden bed because these guys love to dig and shovel my dirt everywhere, don't you? Yes, you do. But we love you, so that's okay. So we're gonna shore up the walls. I have a little bit of a plan for that. Just really quickly, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to get some of this soil back in there, get this bed ready to be planted. I don't have any more of the pallets. I don't have time to build those right now. These are working great, except we need to fix it up a little bit, give it some more of the support braces. That's for another video. We love our kitties. I knew that they were going to dig. So we want to help to at least keep the soil in there, and then I have some other tricks to keep them from causing complete chaos when I plant new seeds. Right. Thanks for hunting all the big bad mice and everything else. All right, so let's get to work. Well, we're getting there. Took out the trellis down the middle. I may or may not put that back in after. Used what I had laying around because I don't have time to build a wall, and that's okay. I grabbed a whole bunch of logs that were waiting to shore up a garden bed. All the way down, cut the edges. I still have to clean up the paths, obviously. Right, evened it all out. This is all ginger. I shored that up too because either an armadillo or the cats completely shoved everything off the edge. As a bonus, got to pull up some ginger, so I get to have some fresh ginger tea today and expand the ginger garden bed because we love it and I want it everywhere. So this will be for annuals, and now I need to go get some compost, top dress it. I don't till. I haven't tilled since I first installed these beds. That was okay, it needed it. There was a lot of roots in here, got them all out. Haven't tilled since. I just top dress and work the soil as I'm planting, and it's worked out great. The worms are happy. Everything else in here is happy. So, next. Raking all that back. And this is the joy of letting your sweet potatoes run wild. They just grow wherever they want. I didn't have to work for those. Some of them may be little because they're spreading out their roots. Oh man. Some of them may do that because you're paying no attention to them, and that's okay. They'll still grow a new vine. And others will be a little bit bigger. This one is not gigantic, but you add it to the other ones. It's a nice little side dish of some sweet potato fries, and I didn't have to do anything to actually get them except let them grow wild. I do grow them on purpose in other places and get obviously much higher yields, and that's okay. Oh, and now that they're in here though, they will never come out. They will always grow back in here from itty bitty little ones that are deep in the soil or that I've just missed, and that's fine because when it's 1,000 degrees outside and raining every single day and humid, they do a fantastic job keeping the weeds down for me. All of this will be covered with sweet potato vines. All of that path, and all over there. It's a sweet potato sea. So my poor fruit trees, I've got so much work to do. That's okay. Would you look at that? It's a nice little side dish of some sweet potato fries, which are really good when they're these purple ones. And all of these, well, these little ones, I'm going to save as little seed potatoes. Get them sprouted and growing into new plants. And then these bigger ones and the longer ones will turn into fries. And that's just from my rather messy path and a little bit from the side over there. Just from me cleaning it up, not digging, not searching for them, just growing. Was I supposed to be getting compost and mulch? Absolutely. Did I? Absolutely not. I got distracted with the high of tidying things up and getting new garden beds ready because it's exciting. It's getting closer to a new planting season. Actually, we are in a new planting season. I'm just behind as always. But now they're almost ready. They're weeded. The paths are ready to be mulched and fixed up too. So, you know what? I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I didn't get compost. That's okay. It would have been great. It's going to rain tomorrow. I might have time before it rains. The rain will water in all the nutrients from the top dressing of the compost and get the soil even more ready for new seeds and the plants that are going to be going in here. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Maybe I'll have time tomorrow. This is nice. Making progress. This is one of the ways I like to turn one task into two and have the chickens make my compost for me. As you can see, they're all scratching through that pile. So this is a chicken coop that my husband built me because he's amazing. And it has external nesting box doors. But chickens being chickens, they like to poop in their nesting boxes. So what we do actually is take, for the fresh replacement ones, anything, but this works really great, and just knock it down into a nice little pile along here. Come in here and do the same thing. Of course, if I could open it. And I already did them, but I go in, scrape out the yuck, replace as needed. It's nice and fresh. Eggs are clean for the most part. And actually let it sit here for a little while whenever I can get around to it, and then take my steel rake or any other rake, rake it all up into the run. They know it's coming. They scratch through it, they mix it into the dirt, which helps it break down even more. And because I let it sit here undisturbed for a little while, all the black soldier flies and everything else came and laid their eggs, and there's little larvae in there, and they're finding it and running away with tasty treats and helping me. I help them, they help me. And now I'm not just cleaning a coop, but I'm also making soil. Thank you. I'm getting ready to get some compost to top dress the garden beds with, but before that I'm going to get some finely sifted compost for some more seed starting, where I don't want these chunks, which are fine for the bigger gardens, but I don't want them in my seed snails or starter pods or anything like that. So I have this really fine grate. It's actually from the top of a reptile cage. And then I come over here where I've already raked away the big stuff. This is right underneath the rabbit hutch. And take a bunch of soil, compost, bring it to the top. Happens to fit nicely. It's better when I can use two hands. And just, oh my gosh, bare hands. Right through the grate. All the big stuff and the branches, for the most part, don't go through. And then what you're left with is this very fine compost that goes really well in the seed snails. Those little chunks just fell in there. And starter pods. So it only takes a little bit, and then I get a whole bunch, and it's been working out really great in my new soil mix. And I didn't necessarily even have to work for it because those guys make it for me. Then the chickens dig through it, sift it even more, add just a little bit of their own to it, and we're good to go. All I have to do is shovel and sift. Ooh, shovel and sift. There we are, a full tote of finely sifted compost. It took me about 25 minutes, minus some distractions, and look at that. So clean. Well, you know, as clean as compost can get. And that'll last me for a while. Now moving on to the chunkier stuff. Sign of healthy soil. I just pulled back the mulch in this garden bed, even though there wasn't anything planted in it right now. I'm getting ready to add some more compost to the top, or top dress it, and just getting rid of some of these weeds with the stirrup hoe. And this little guy popped up, so he's happy in here. And that's why I don't till, and I try not to necessarily dig down into the garden beds except for the spots that I'm planting the plants in. I just keep adding on top. Compost along the top, mulch on top of that, and always protect the soil surface. I mean, look how dark and rich that is. It's even darker in real life. The video doesn't even do it justice. Hey guy, come on, get back under the soil. So, getting it ready, and just love to see the proof of all the hard work. Look at that. It's great. Alright, we're getting some contender beans on the edges of this garden bed. I actually put contender beans on the edges of all garden beds. I love this bean. They're delicious. They're rapidly growing. They go farther into the heat and humidity than most green beans. They're super tough against pests. And then a lot of times, if you do relay race planting, you can overlap them between the contender beans, which is a classic bush bean, and the yardlong bean, which grows the best during the heat and humidity and all the rain of the summer. Getting some tomatoes in there. Normally I actually stagger them and plant them closer, but this year I'm giving them a bunch of space. I'm going to plant them how I want to let them grow, which is up and all over the place. So we're gonna just chuck these in the ground here, and a lot of times I'll actually put them a little bit closer, but I'm so sure that these are gonna come up that I just space them apart so I don't have to come out here and thin them. And then I'll go and I'll take my my hoe that I dug this little trough with and just cover this back up and use it to pat it down, and then give it a water and mulch it, and then I'm done. And I'll plant another couple of rows of these 2 weeks from now. That way I'm always getting a steady supply of multiple areas of beans that are growing, but I'll talk more about that in a little while. It doesn't seem like a lot for a garden bed this big, but these tomatoes are going to fill up this space. These green bean bushes get pretty big, and just so many delicious green beans. So it'll be interesting to be able to show the progress. And mulched. So each one of these big beds takes about a whole wheelbarrow of compost to top dress and two to mulch. And that's not even mulching super thick, which I usually like to do. But it's done. It's in. The soil is protected. I've got beans in for the rain that's coming tomorrow. The tomatoes should continue to take off. They look great. And then down here, there aren't tomatoes because there are perennial green beans. They're called winged beans. And they actually form a tuber under the ground. You can see where I left the stem to remember where they should be coming up, and some chicken wire to protect them from the cats. So I'll definitely talk more about the winged beans because they're an amazing addition to a food forest. But now it's time to go inside before I am reduced to nothing by these gnats. But I'm happy I got this done. Just wanted to show this real quick as I'm prepping this bed. I have come to prefer this way, just putting in some T-posts right down the middle, like so, and then like this one over here, attaching some fencing to it. Not chicken wire, I've tried that. It's too annoying, the holes are too small. And then this tomato plant, I just lace up through, and then as the season goes and it grows, I can use these to tie up other branches or prune. And it's long term, it's sturdy, I've done the Florida weave before. I've used chicken wire. I've used singular stakes. I'm a busy person. I'm not here all the time. I need something that's gonna last that I don't necessarily have to worry about so much, and then I can kind of just let those tomatoes go crazy, because they will actually like sort of weave their way up as they're growing. And then it's good. I can come out here when I have a chance, tie things up when I need to, and then move on. So those are the stakes going in, and then here's the fencing. Measure it out beforehand, do yourself a favor, and then cut it and bring it over. Trying to bring the roll over there is a disaster. And voila! Just a quick note, I would recommend not letting it touch the ground, but having a space here and here to allow things to, it gives you a little bit of extra space up at the top, and it'll allow you some room to plant things directly underneath, and then it can grow up, like when I was putting in the tomato transplants. 2 days and several hours later, and 3 garden beds have been fixed up, top dressed, weeded, mulched, and new fences installed. Each one of them has tomatoes, and I just went ahead and planted each of these garden beds with contender beans all along the outside edges. So I think that's pretty good. I beat the thunderstorm. You can hear it in the background. This is going to be peppers. This is going to be roselle. In the back is ginger and turmeric, and we have fruit trees dotting the very, very back. More peppers back there, and then that's kind of a citrus field over there. And then I'll be planting other little things. All right, cool.